and that the sort of the new faith that I had found was like the faith of not knowing, and that's actual faith of like A plus B does not equal C. It like equals I'm gay and I want to be in a relationship with another man and maybe to have kids or whatever it was, and I don't know that is going to land me up in the best place after this life, but common sense and my spiritual compass, or whatever you want to call it, tells me that being honest to who I am, who I was born as, is the right thing to do. And as long as I'm living as a good human being on the earth, as a good person, that will end me up where I want to be in the end of it all. So, and even though I knew that, it was still kind of, but, so anyway, I met my boyfriend that I've been with now for, it'll be 3 years in July. We actually saw each other at the gym, in the locker room. It was nothing crazy, but, and then he saw me at a concert across the way, and then he like wrote me on Friendster, and and I was actually sort of seeing somebody else, and I said, I wrote him an email, or I wrote him a Friendster. I was like, I'm actually sort of seeing someone else. I don't really want to pursue this, even though I think you're really cute and you seem really nice. And so after I dumped Crazy, and he was totally crazy, he was like the last crazy guy I ever dated. Thank God. I got it out of my system. I let a little time go by, and then Joe and I went out on our first date on July 14th, 2003. Or no, 4. Wait, what are we?
Wow.
5, yes.
It's 2008.
Yes, 2005. We went to the old vinyl on 54. And we had a really good rapport and a really good chemistry, and I was like, this is a normal guy. Like, this is like just a normal person who's gay. You know what I mean? Like, instead of it being his identity or any of these other weird things. And we saw each other like, we were like lesbians. We saw each other every day for as long as I can remember, and in this very apartment he was living, and I mean, it has been like, it's like bliss. It's so great, because I think I was finally at the point where I like had dealt with all the Mormon things, and I had found God in my way now, and I was ready to like be with somebody, and I kind of had most of it figured out, and Joe definitely had. I think Joe has a lot figured out as well, and it's fantastic.
And now?
And now, well, let me back up. One of the things that how did I get a hold of this book? I got a hold of Carolyn Pearson's No More Goodbyes. Have you read that book? You must. You really must. Carolyn Pearson is this sort of Mormon writer. She was married to a gay man and had 3 kids with him.
Does she know?
What? No, I think she knew. I can't remember the whole story.
I think so.
Anyway, he kind of tried to be straight, or tried to live, and they ended up getting divorced. He moved to San Francisco. He got AIDS, and she basically nursed him through to his death.
Oh, wow.
Her daughter married Stephen Fales. Yes.
Yeah.
Her
Brilliant.
daughter married Stephen Fales. They had 2 or 3 kids. And anyway, she wrote this book, P.S. I Love You or something, or No More I Love Yous, I don't know. And then she wrote this other book, No More Goodbyes, which is the book I was mentioning, and it's called Circling the Wagons Around Our Gay Loved Ones. And it basically is this book that kind of talks about option C, I guess you could say, because there's like, option A is like be in the church and be gay and get married, and option B is like, I guess for a while, I mean, either kill yourself or go off and live some gay lifestyle, and you kind of forget all about the church. And she kind of writes, anyway, she just writes all these different ways of thinking about your spirituality and what you can do, if you stay in the church and you're gay and you have a boyfriend. I don't know, it was really a brilliant book, and it was kind of, I felt like, the final phase of some healing that I needed to do spiritually. And I read the book like last summer, and I just felt like this incredible sense of peace, and this like my brain finally wrapped around the idea that like you can be a gay Christian, you can, I don't know, I mean they're very simple things I think for a lot of people, but it was something that I had conceptualized and sort of gotten, but it like finally came all the way around for me. and she has like a lot of like stories of people who have lost their loved ones because they've committed suicide, and you know, and the premise of the book is there's no more goodbyes. There's the goodbye that has to be said by parents of gay children who commit suicide. She said that needs to stop. She says there no longer needs to be, I'm not going to phrase this well, the goodbye of a woman married to a gay man when they get divorced, and then the goodbye that a lot of members of the church say to gay loved ones because they can't seem to fit them in to the culture. And anyway, it's just a really fantastic book, and I felt like it was sort of like the final step in my healing. But anyway, the great news is that, it's good news, that Joe and I are having a little ceremony at the end, on July 14th in Costa Rica. And I don't know, we had talked a little bit about like what we wanted to do, if we ever wanted to do a ceremony, and at first I didn't think I would. I guess before you find someone that you like, just like think the world about, maybe you like, oh no, that's for straight people. But I was like, no, hell no, I want to do it. And I think it kind of, for me, I mean, there's definitely of like, I want the day of like, we're married on this day, and we're married, just like straight people are married, or whatever it means to us, you know. And then there's also one of the purposes I think behind doing it is that our families, you know, our parents are really brilliant. Like my mother has come miles, as is my dad and Joe's parents. But it's sort of like, you know, for them to see us in the light of like, they are a married couple, they are a couple just like Joe's brother and his wife are. And to be kind of given, at least by our family and our friends, the same respect and privileges, I guess, that a straight couple would get, as you know, because the government still needs to catch up. And then it's kind of a good excuse to just have a great vacation with our like closest friends and family. So it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And we right now I owned an apartment which I sold, and Joe is selling his apartment, and we're going to we're trying to buy a 2-family house. So we have a rental that we're making money on, and our plan, we've been taking, at the Gay Men's Health Center, we've been taking like these sort of like information seminars about adoption, like the different, you know, options of how you can adopt, whether it be surrogates or private adoption, public adoption, foster to adopt. So that's kind of where we are. We're kind of like...
That's exciting.
Just doing it.
You're all grown up and stuff.
I know.
Oh,
because, you know, I've always... the one thing that I will have great regrets about in life is if I don't become a parent. Like, that's just for me. Not that everybody has to do it, but for me personally, I must parent. Something other than a dog. You can't see him now, but...
And adoption is such a gift. I mean, I think everyone should be required to adopt before they have a natural child.
I agree.
Gay or straight.
I agree.
There's no reason.
And you know, it was funny, not to be all like, you know, spiritual Sally on you, but we were at the last, we've only been to 2 of these classes. The first one dealt with private adoption, you know, where you hire a third-party adoption agency and you pay them like $20,000 and they find you a kid and they help you with the legal work and whatever. And it's not something we really want to spend money on because you have to spend so much money on them anyway. The kids, that is. So the foster adopt program was the second, it's like the first Thursday of every month. And this foster adopt program, they had 2 teens that were there who were sort of like been in the foster care, and some gay parents are now sort of watching over them. Anyway, as I was hearing these kids talk, and you know, they've gone through like group home to foster home, and in the system, in the foster care system, gay homes are like the place. Like everybody wants to get gay parents because they know that they're doing it, you know, for the right reasons. Whereas, you know, not that everybody else is doing it for the wrong reasons, but I think there are some that are. And as far as the gay people, they're doing it because they desperately want to be parents. Mm-hmm. And I had 2 impressions when I was sitting there in that room. I had the impression, really strong impression, that this was literally one of the things I was put on the earth to do.